Red Cushion Sea Star. My name's Michael Alzate. As you can see, this picture of it is a sea star. I actually personally took this picture in the Bahamas at Castaway Cay in one of their beaches. Um, so let's start where I found it. As I mentioned, I found this organism at Disney's Castaway Cay this weekend. Castaway Cay is located in the Bahamas. Their beaches are known to have shallow waters, crystal clear water as well, and this gives opportunity to be able to find many organisms within its waters. It was really interesting to see not only starfish but jellyfish, other kinds of fish, um, and sand dollars, stuff like that. So sea stars are classified as followed. They are part of the Animalia kingdom. They are part of the superphylum of Deuterostomia, which means that they develop anus before the mouth. Their phylum is Chordata, and their subphylum is Echinodermata. Their genus is Oreoaster, and this species, known as red cushion sea star, is the O. reticulatus. What's the natural habitat for this organism? Red cushion sea stars can be found in the western part of the Atlantic Ocean, as well as the Caribbean Sea, the Bahamas, which is where I found and took this picture. They can also be found in the coast of Florida and the Gulf of Mexico, in places such as Yucatan. This organism prefers shallow waters, which usually are near beaches. It's also known that during the winter they like to get even closer to, they migrate more towards more other shallow waters, as they don't like to be disturbed by the jet streams that there is within the Atlantic Ocean. What are the adaptations that this organism possesses that allow it to be successful in its natural habitat? Well, let's start with the fact that sea stars have 2 feet on each of its arms. These are little tentacles that allow the sea star to keep grasp of the substrate on the floor bed, such as sand or coral reef or any seaweed, anything that has anchoring onto the ground. It's also known that they use these 2 feet, which look like tentacles, as you can see on the picture, to feed on animals that they can find on the floor bed, such as crab eggs, crab larvae, and they'll start pushing those eggs or larvae onto their mouth, which is in the middle of it. Once their food reaches the center where their mouth is, they'll start releasing enzymes that will break down their food and they'll be able to consume. Not only that, one interesting thing that makes this animal successful is the fact that they can regrow limbs in the case that they lose one of them, which is very fascinating to know that certain species are able to do this. Just like lizards, when they lose their tail, they're able to regrow it as well. What does the life cycle look like? Sea stars experience a sexual reproductive life cycle in which a male and female starfish or sea star will mate. Then the female sea star will lay dozens of fertilized eggs. It's pretty simple, not too crazy. More of a classic sexual reproductive life cycle. And some fun facts are that about sea stars is that if there's a low food availability, the cushion sea star will reabsorb its own tissue, which leads to a noticeable reduction in its size. So it's known that these cushion sea stars will grow and grow and grow until they look very spongy, and you won't be able to tell apart each of their arms. But in the case that there's low food availability, they'll start to lose that, as they'll start reabsorbing that tissue that they grew. So basically, in a more old-fashioned way of saying, they go from fat to skinny in a way. Red cushion sea stars are also known to be the largest sea stars within its range of distribution. By this we mean that they are the largest sea stars to be known to inhabit areas such as the Western Atlantic Ocean, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, and the coastal areas of Florida. It's impressive to know that they can also live up to 35 years. And there is one more way they can reproduce, which is asexually. It's less common to see asexual reproduction with sea stars, as it only happens more incidentally rather than on purpose, or as a way that sea stars do it by themselves. Which is why if they lose their arm, they can obviously regrow it, but at the same time, that arm that they lost will regrow a new organism, which is technically the same as as the one that lost its limb, because the genetics will be the same. But it's very fascinating that this is one extra way they can multiply. Thank you. If you have any questions, let me know.